Greetings, YouTube. I'm currently reading a supplement, and they discuss the races that are in the world in the particular setting. And the races they give you a selection of all your PC races that you can play. And then they talk about a group of races which are known collectively as the dark races. Now that right there off the bat kind of brings the hairs up on the back of my neck. Particularly when, like, the first race out of the chute was this ape-like simian, only semi-civilized, which has, in my opinion, some really uncomfortable racial stereotypes hooked into it. But the setting that these races came from, that you had the other races, all the player character races. I'm not saying they're all good guys, but they're the player character races, having the full range of moral and ethical worldviews, having full agency. And then along comes some wizard king who mutates some of them deliberately and creates the dark races. The ape one's like this. He made some Aryan dudes who are so pale they're even paler than albino people. And he made a couple, like 2 or 3 different races of trolls. And he made these races as laborers and as warriors, as shock troops, as terrorizers. You get the picture. Well, eventually, the Wizard King passes out of the picture. So now the races are no longer under the control. They are no longer being raised within the culture that the Wizard King created. So now these races are free agents and should have full agency. And yet, they're still evil. And they are quickly absorbed into the force of unlife that wants to exterminate all life in the universe and is going to help use these dark races to achieve that end. In my book, that's biological determinism. You're saying that these races, that if you were born into one of these races, you're evil. Tough. Sorry. It's just the way it is. You have no agency. You were born evil. You will live evil. You will die evil. And you will do evil things the entire time you're here. And I'm finding that really uncomfortable nowadays. I can see the races being stereotyped when they were under the control of the Wizard King. I get that. But once the Wizard King doesn't control them anymore, the culture he created, the culture that taught these races to do evil things in his name, is gone. And they, in my opinion, should have the chance at redemption and new lives that head in a different direction that they decide for themselves. And yet they don't. And this isn't the first time we've seen this. I mean, how many of the humanoid races in mortal, corporeal races in D&D and Pathfinder are evil? It's not their culture. They themselves are evil. And I think that's bull. Now, if you want demons to be evil, because they're demons, okay. You want Lovecraftian horrors to be, maybe evil isn't the right word for them, but, indifferent to the point where humans are in real danger, I got no problem with that. If you want people from the Feylands to have some kind of alignment, kind of coded into their RNA, all right, I can buy that. But if those races come here and stay here generationally, they should become citizens of the world, and they should have the option of agency, of determining for themselves whether they will be good or evil. Not because they just were born that way. That really bothers me. And I think it's limiting. And I think in 2018, we should really be moving past that. We should be looking at greater degrees of complexity. As a famous line says, the line between good and evil runs through the heart of all of us. None of us are angels. None of us are demons. Hitler liked puppies. He was a vegetarian. He was one of the greatest mass murderers that's ever lived. Just because you are good doesn't mean you've never made a mistake. Just because you're evil doesn't mean you've never done anything decent. And while some of us may strive to live moral lives, we've all screwed up. We've all made mistakes. I know I have. I didn't come out of the chute with a predetermined moral compass. None of us did. And we aren't hard-coded from our upbringing. We can change. We can be different people. So yeah, this gets right to my core. This is telling me that no. You were raised that way. That's the way you're going to be forever. And that's bull. For some strange reason in fantasy games and science fiction games, we desperately want some group that we can legitimately, comfortably be racist towards. You can be racist towards the orcs. They're bad. They're all evil. You be racist to the goblins, or the Klingons, or the Romulans, or what have you. We seem to be desperate to vilify that other group, not just for what they do, but for who they are. I mean, I made no bones about it that I'm a progressive. And I despise every single ideal that the Red Caps stand for. It doesn't mean I despise them. I don't think that they were born into this world like this. They were raised this way or convinced this way or something. They can change. And I don't like the fact that these races in games, science fiction or fantasy, say, nah, I'm sorry, you were born this way and you're going to stay. I think it's boring, and I think it's bigoted, and I think that's a really bad example. We should not be encouraging us gamers to have a group that we can comfortably hate. You want to hate somebody's actions? I'm not going to get in your way. But you want to go after somebody for who they are? Yeah, that's where I draw the line. Right through my heart. So, this went a little deeper than I thought it was going to. But it's still all connected. Those races, in my opinion, should have agency. And even if they're suffering under the weight of a reputation of the past, it doesn't mean they have to carry it forever. And saying that they do kind of makes us the bad guy.